Oh, well, is my boat down there?
What boat would that be?
Oh, I made a boat in the SS Georgia and it went down the
Why should I give it you back?
Because we need it for make a video about Stephen King.
Oh, okay.
Oh, thank you.
There's your boat back. Look
Yeah.
after it this time.
I got my boat back, yeah! Oh, that weather. It's a bit all muggy out there, but actually let's just take this off because last time I can feel me death. But you join us today for a video all about one of the greatest authors of all time, Stephen King. And let's just go through a little collection to see what's in there. Here's Stephen King's Salem's Lot even. Always think of a couple of things when I think of Salem's Lot. There used to be a car depot not far down the road from me, and it was in a street called Salem Street, and it was called Salem's Lot. See what they did there? And alternate fact fans, there is a great fan commentary to do with this film. Check it out. I don't know which is more outrageous about Stephen King's The Green Mile, but when it was very first released, it was released in these little novels like this that came out, I think, fortnightly. But, and this is kind of incredible to me, is that I remember this book coming out when I went to have my hair cut at the barber's. So it's probably the last time I had my hair cut. When was that? 1991? This is one of my favourite Stephen King films, Maximum Overdrive. Great for loads of reasons. Emilio Estevez in it, one of the best director cameos of all time. One of my favourite movie lines of all time, I got eggs on! And also, again, talk about in the realms of science fiction, this was remade, can you believe it or not? It was called Trucks. I've only ever seen it once. It was on Channel 5. I remember one Christmas it came out. It was on TV, and I always remember it was when my dad was really drunk on Christmas Day, and he was effing on whether to go back to the pub, and my brother-in-law was egging him on saying, go to the pub, and everybody else in the family was like saying, no. So I can't really remember much about Trucks because that's the circumstances I watched it in. This is Stephen King Goes to the Movies. It's a collection of some of his films based on films. It's like a pretentious night shift. The films that are actually in here are 1408, The Mangler, The Shawshank Redemption, and Children of the Corn. Actually, it's maybe not as pretentious as I first thought, because how many books have got Shawshank Redemption and Children of the Corn in there? It's a bit like when I went to see It the other day, the cinema aisle. Bachman book. For anybody who's not in the know, Stephen King writes under, well, he used to write under a pen name, Richard Bachman. This is The Regulators. It's kind of a modern day western. One thing I love about books, those little things like this, is it's got a map of the street of where all the incidents that took place. Should write one for my street for when people get evicted. Talking about going to see It, this is the VHS X-Rental version, and this has got some great elements to it. One brilliant thing, it starts off with this Stephen King video challenge where them great old-fashioned video competitions where it's like, all you've got to do is write a 200-word essay and answer these multiple choice questions so you can win a CD player. And it's like, oh god, yeah. But yeah, when I went to see It to do a little tiny super quick review for it. Good film, and I'm really surprised how successful it's been. It's like been one of the most successful horror films, or one of the most successful September releases, with all the different caveats to it and stuff like that. I know it's kind of like my crazy viewpoint on it, but kind of reminded me of Halloween 3 for a few reasons, like the little lullaby theme tune, like the Bells of St. Clemens music, and the fact that this was directed by Tom Lee Wallace, and the fact that you keep seeing the same thing on the TV over and over again. and again, this is probably my real crazy mentalness, but I kept seeing cats in the remake of it, and it reminded me of Gerald from Cat's Eye, so it'd be great if it was an alternate universe Gerald, but made me get into this. Has got both parts in it. I love when Stephen King though said as well, he said if you on Twitter, said if you don't wait for it chapter 2, just read his novel or watch this film. He didn't say watch this film, but that's my little take on it there. And actually, if you stay right till the very end of the credits of the new It, something kind of cool happens. Not after the credit scene, but it ties it in with 80s movies. This is being made into a Netflix special, and I kind of love stories like this that are quite simple and quite to the point. It's about somebody that gets sort of accidentally or on purpose chained to a bed and you get stuck there, and I kind of love stories like that where you think, how are you going to get out of it? But yeah, it's like I say, it's going to be a Netflix special. Thinking about it, I don't know why that's just reminding me, but fun fact, Stephen King's wife Tabitha King, is also a writer. I know how much writing must they do in their house. It's like they try and write the complete works of the King family. And thinking about it, this is one of my favourite Stephen King films, so it'd be worth doing the top 5 at this point. My top 5 Stephen King films are Cujo, Christine, Maximum Overdrive, The Running Man, and Cat's Eye. Yes, it's got Dee Wallace in it from E.T., the first woman that made me feel like when I climbed the rope in gym class, and here's the book that it's based on. I always remember Stephen King saying that he can never remember writing it because he was drinking and doing drugs that much at the time, but kind of reminds me of a lot of these videos. This was from Pottery's Mobile Video, Middleport, 0782 816 912. Let's phone that, see if that's still in business.
The number you have dialed has not been recognised.
Oh, Pottery's Mobile Video's gone out of business. How am I going to return this tape? I remember lending this off a friend's next door neighbour. I let them a copy of Night Shift and never got it back, and for some reason I've kept this. Not purposely. If they want it back, they're more than welcome to it. You can tell this is not one of my novels, it's the classy big version of Green Mile. And, talking of Night Shift, this is my favourite Stephen King novel of all time, and it probably must hold a record for the amount of films that have been made from this. It's got everything: Maximum Overdrive, Quitters Inc., Lawnmower Man, Children of the Corn. So you can tell why I like this book. It's a collection of short stories. Christine. I always think it's funny when I look at different Stephen King books, I can tell where I was at the time. This has got the horses for Bangor Racing, so I guess I was on my way to Bangor Racing. I was reading that. You can tell the book is a lot bigger than a lot more content than the film. But the film's interesting because it's one of those films you'll never see a good review for Christine in a film magazine or anything like that. But I've never met a human being that doesn't like Christine, which is a good name for a punk song, right? And I say this is my favourite Stephen King film of all time. Got the big box X-Rental version there and the sell-through version. But like I was saying, part of the stories, Quitters Inc. and The Ledge are in Night Shift. There's an interesting little subtle touch in Night Shift. In The Ledge, the main guy is a tennis player, and in Night Shift, he's a jockey, which I thought was an interesting take on it. And The General was a screenplay written by Stephen King, but there's my Stephen King collection, and keep it locked.
Hiya, Georgie.